We're
Are we
live.
live? Awesome. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our comic book chat. I'm your host, Michael.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Rich.
Today we're going to talk about issue 9, The Stars High Republic. We've been following so far the pretty much revolves around this Jedi a lot, Kiev Trennis, and her exploits. It's been a lot of fun.
So let's check out her variant covers. So here on LeagueOfComicGeeks.com, we've got a lot of cool information for issue number 9. This is the main cover, which we're familiar with. That's our Jedi, Kiev Trennis, donning a scary mask and strange non-Jedi attire. What did you guys think when you saw this?
She was gonna go undercover, but it's very Mandalorian-like instead of Nihil-like. But you do get to see the 3 bolts, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. The storm symbol here, the Z's.
This issue, there's a couple of firsts for me, things I get to see that they heard about in books and stuff, but you actually get to see them in here, so it's pretty cool. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Still in my imagination a lot.
Still no Martian Row though. I was hoping we would get a glimpse.
I thought we had a glimpse of him somewhere, like it gave us a preview, one of those things that just let us see him, but it's kind of like,
I think we did, just like one picture, but
maybe he was even wearing armor or something. That's
you know what? I've seen Markion Rowe in the IDW series. They show him a lot there. Yeah. So, but here's a first variant edition. Oh, and it does say variant edition right on the cover.
Oh.
So you were asking, Rich, it's right there. Yeah. Variant edition.
Well, Spectre should have been able to see that.
He sure should have.
So here's his other arm, huh? They don't really show it in comics.
But they showed like a little tiny nub growing, remember?
Did they? I wasn't paying attention to his nub.
It was growing back. Mm-hmm. And
grab my strong hand.
Yeah. And then here's Avar Chris, and this is what's his name?
Maru.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maru. So first variant cover. Nice. I like this. I like their sabers. Very classic looking. The next variant cover, we've got an old friend, Mayarga.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah, she's
That's
cool.
A cool style, that one. With the negative white and then the almost like pencil drawing. Very cool looking.
Mm-hmm. You know what's cool is that in the EU, the reptilians that had hair was like very prized or like the highest echelon, and here Mayarga has hair, so I'm wondering if it's the same with the Hutts.
Yeah,
so that might speak to her status.
Already the coolest Hutt I've ever gotten to know. I don't know too much of the EU ones, but she's already better than Jabba. I mean, look what she's wearing. She's fighting. She's
what she does. Yeah,
she's already my best Hutt for me.
She gets off like real big Mad Max vibes as well with her like whole kit.
Yeah, she's badass. So next variant cover is Kiev again. It's pretty cool.
Pretty traditional.
Mm-hmm. Nice lightsaber pose, very Jedi-ish.
Yeah, it's great contrast from the lightsaber to just the other colors in the cover. Really makes the lightsaber pop.
Yeah, I like that. I wonder where she is. There's this rock behind her. And then this is the Virgin cover of Mayarga.
Oh, that's even better with the more negative space. I want that one bad now. I love that
This would be a great one to use for Photoshop because it's easy to get rid of this white.
That's dope.
John, do you collect a lot of variant covers?
I
don't, but Jonathan does, right?
I got a couple, not nearly as many. How many there are? I mean, I probably have I don't know, 6 to 8, but every issue there's
Just
like
from the High Republic, or just
Oh.
from the High Republic, or
yeah. Just really, that's the only comic. Well, that and I guess IDW is High Republic, but yeah, really
Yeah.
High Republic stuff.
oof, I love that.
Look
That's a
forward to get
beautiful
more.
bit of artwork.
Yeah, here's our ghost Jedi, the one who's the Waste Seeker.
So
Yeah.
this is the first time you see her lightsaber expanded. I think she's always had it folded.
Hmm.
Right.
That's cool.
Right, because now
Orla
you can see her
Durrani?
hair.
I believe her name is.
For me,
Orla?
it's quite
Orla-
interesting to see
Orla
that folded
Durrani.
lightsaber vibe,
Yeah.
just because of you know, when with the sequel trilogy, there were so many rumors that Rey's lightsaber would end up being a fold out one. So it's
Yeah.
cool to see it in action.
Yeah, is hers a fold-out one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
it
yeah.
folds
Lauren,
out
she
that
always
way.
has it folded. Yeah.
It's like a U shape, right? Like a U.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
two
that's
parallel
cool.
lightsabers. Kind of awkward. That's cool.
I like it. And then the last variant cover is a virgin cover of Jedi Keeve Trennis. Nice artwork. Very ornate, all the little details.
Yeah.
I like it. Right, and the description here says The Shadow of the Nile, Chapter 1. So last time we finished that, I guess it was only, it's confusing to me because they're collected in a series of 5 per volume. But it seems like the other chapter, this is Chapter 1, Jedi No More. So we're starting a new chapter, but it's issue
New
number
art,
9.
yeah.
So that's weird because this is going to be collected in volume 2, along with number
Yeah.
10. So 6 through 10 will be volume 2, 1 through 5 will be volume 1. So it seems like the volumes aren't complete arcs.
Hmm.
Well, they're not at
Yeah.
least sticking to the rules.
Because this is definitely a new arc.
Yes. So
Have we seen any? Like, do we know that they're going to do it that way when it comes to the trade paperbacks?
yes, because they already released volume 1.
Then that's how it
Have
was.
they?
And this says it will be collected in volume 2, which goes through them, and they usually have 5 issues.
Did the 1 through 8 have a title like this? So this said The Shadow of Jedi Chapter 1. So do the other ones have a name of the arc? I didn't catch that.
I think so.
I don't
You
remember.
know, here, I got 8 right
Yeah, see?
here, and I want to double check before I say
look.
this out loud. But I'm almost positive that 8 was a chapter 3.
It was. I just pulled
I'm
it
gonna
up.
feel
It
like
says,
a fool if that's wrong, but I'm checking.
no, you're right, Rich. You're right.
Yeah, I brought it up. It says
Look on screen.
Yeah.
So that's,
Chapter 3.
that's different.
Yeah.
So that
So
was
Jedi No
3
More.
chapters in 1 arc. And so
Mhm.
now we're gonna, I don't know how they're doing it. It's gonna be hard to keep track.
Well, I just
Just
read
keep-
issue by issue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just keep reading the next issue, man. That's the best advice I can give anybody.
Yeah. So a new story begins this issue, The Shadow of the Nile. Following the terrible events of the Rising Storm, the villainous Nile are in retreat. Hunted by the Jedi, Wayseeker Knight Orla Durrani is attacked by a lone Nile storm ship in deep space. A storm ship commanded by one of the Jedi's own. Which of Starlight Beacon's number have joined the Nile horde, and how far will they turn from the light? Ooh.
It's ominous considering we know something about her future.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true, because she's got a lot of, I sensed a lot of dark side in you, Keeve Trennis.
Potty mouth Keeve Trennis.
Yeah.
Crick.
And then, see, this is collected in the High Republic Volume 2.
Oh yes, that's so weird.
And then we have our cast here. Nobody new, really. Same
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah, I think we're starting to kind of, at least I feel like I'm starting to kind of get a hang of, the main Jedi here after
There's,
like 6 months of reading these books and comics.
Yeah. There's a really cool infographic that an Italian fan website have put together I posted the links on Star Wars Book Nerds, but there's 2 infographics. There's one for all the different Jedi, and it's really, really cool because it is just like images and the names and what their links are and how they're connected. But then the second one is about their interrelationships. So I'll share the links to it on in the comments here just now. But it's really, really good source just for visual, and it gets updated. They update it sort of every few months or so, which is really cool.
Nice, nice. So any comments before we jump into this issue?
No, just it played out a little different storytelling wise compared to the other ones, how it kind of bounced back and forth. It was a little confusing, but it took me a minute to get it. But normally they haven't been doing that, so a little different.
I agree. It was like a flashback, right? It was kind of weird because I felt like I missed an issue when I started reading. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. But then by the end, it made sense. So here's our timeline. And here it is, Chapter 1, Jedi No More. So a little more detail about the intro, like the one I just read on the Jedi.
The other thing I like is that we're past all the books now. Like a lot of times you're reading it and it's like you can tell they're coming up to like Valo or something. We're past everything now, and it tells us right here. The Jedi have the Nihil have struck. The Republic fair on Valo, intended to be a celebration of unity and progress, has been razed to the ground. Thousands are dead. While the attack was underway, Marshal Avar Kriss was leading the charge against the insidious Drengir on Mulita. The Drengir blight was a feint to keep the Jedi on Starlight Beacon from rushing to Valo's aid. Now, months later, the Jedi have been charged with chasing down the Nihil wherever they run. The response is being masterminded by Jedi Council member Stellan Gios. But passions are running high. Even among Order's finest, the Nihil are on the run, but they are not yet defeated. So this is what I love. This is all new. It's not like I'm coming up to, okay, I know what's going to happen at something. So this is all new, and I love it. So
right, right. About time. It only took 9 issues, but we're here.
And there isn't another book scheduled for a while, right? Like I think spring or something like that. So we're gonna have a string of comics that really lead us into the future until we get another book, which is cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. I like this part where it says that the Drengir blight was a feint.
Yeah.
So it wasn't.
Let me ask you guys, because I didn't do the young adult novels and stuff. Where is that connection made?
So that's what I was gonna ask. Is this so? If you read the Race to Crash Point Tower. That's the one you might. You can. They do say the Nihil seeded Valo to try to help disrupt their communications. They seeded them right at the communications tower. But this almost reads as like the whole Drengir plate, the whole from top to bottom was masterminded by the Nihil. So I didn't know if there was just that one incident on Valo or if the whole thing was masterminded by the.
And even as we get later into this issue, like you'll see through the back and forth between Avar Kriss and Stellan Gios, they're not even 100% sure if that was, in concert or just happenstance.
Lakota, do you remember? Because I do remember reading where the Nihil did coordinate with the Drengir, and where they told them you'll be able to eat as many as you want, partner with us. So where was that explicitly stated? Was it in one of the books, or is it
Crash Point?
Yep. Yeah, it was in one of the books. But then, because if you think about it logically, the Drengir can't move interplanetary without help, right? Because they don't have ships. They're fairly basic, and they're earthbound and whatever. So it's not like they've got a whole fleet of ships just waiting around to go, and they can't pilot ships and stuff. So my take on it was that after the Jedi accidentally unleashed the Drengir, then the Nihil then went and seeded, as they were marauding and causing havoc across various different planets. They went and seeded stuff to make it easier for them to go in afterwards and plunder, with the kind of aim of the Drengir goes and feeds all the population off, and then they can then go and collect whatever they want off it.
Right.
That's smart, yeah. the Jedi actually started it, but it's the Nile that was spreading because it pretty much it sounded like it's almost on every planet and the outer
Yeah.
rim. Like
Well,
so-
in the outer rim, yes, it's in a lot of planets in the outer rim. I wonder if they make it to Batu.
they haven't mentioned yet.
No, but
Yeah.
it's out there.
Yeah. But
So here we have Orla Jareni explaining. Oh, Kiev is narrating this.
is that who's narrating?
Between-
I didn't get who's narrating it. So it's Keith.
I think it's Kiev, yeah, because it says Griffin there.
It says
Oh,
Chris.
here it is. Look at this one. No, not Crusade. Get the terminology. Get the terminology right, Kiev. So she's talking to herself. So it is Kiev, and she's narrating what's happening. Then Orla's out there, way seeking, and all of a sudden, bam! Slap, slap, slap. She gets attacked by a Nile ship. She calls in for help, and then we see a familiar bald head.
Yeah.
And it's our friend and half of the
Is this Sarek or Turek? I
It's Turek. She calls him Tur, doesn't she?
think you're right. Yeah.
yeah, she calls him Tur right here. So he's all Storm Trennis. I'm like, Storm, wait a minute, he's got the lightning bolts on his face, or they have the lightning bolts on their face.
Yeah.
And then here's Starlight Beacon.
Also,
And
he's
there's-
got 2 stripes and she's got 3. So
Right.
she's supposed to be a storm. He's like a cloud, or is that
Yeah.
true?
Oh, right, because her rank is higher.
It's the rankings, yeah.
But those things look, if you look at it looks like the SS, right? Doesn't
I
it?
mean, I'm sure there's some intent there. You know, just vile imagery.
Mm.
Mhm. So then we go from that really quick intro to that attack, and then all of a sudden we go back to Starlight Beacon before that attack. So it's a little flashback. So this is like taking us back to how we got to this point, because I was confused. Like, wait a minute, why is she part of the storm? Why are they part of the Nile? Doesn't make sense. So here it goes back, explaining what happened, and we see Geos is speaking to them from Coruscant, and they're in a disagreement. You know, he's not quite getting along with Avar Chris.
He's being very like, I don't know what the term is, but he wants to have complete control of this investigation. He's not really letting them kind of investigate on their own. Which is a little odd that he's doing it, but I'm assuming he has a reason. So I'm trying to understand if he's in the wrong or if he's really in the right here.
He's kind of arrogant a little bit, right?
It seems like it, but I don't know. I could see him being right.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of withholding judgment. It could be a matter of resources, because even in the last issue, you know, Scar was screaming about sending more Jedi out, and they said they couldn't find any more Jedi because they were all at the fair. So, you know, they're talking about recombing this system that they've combed several times.
Yeah.
But at
And
the same time,
they were spread thin too, Rich. Remember, because some of them were spread out fighting the Drengir, some were on Valo fighting the
Yeah.
Nile. So
Right,
he
that's what I
doesn't
meant.
want to repeat that mistake. Yeah.
yeah.
So the Battle of Galov, that's this the bottom panel on that one. Actually, on your left screen, the screen that you passed already, where they talk about Lorna Dean is presumed dead at the Battle of Galov. Is that the end of Rising Darkness? Is that the name of the last book? Last big book?
The
Rising
Rising Storm.
Rising
And I don't
Um,
recall her dying.
No, so it's part of Tempest Runner, which is the audio drama.
Mhm.
Okay.
So it covers that in there. So there's definitely an overlap. So if you haven't
Yeah.
listened to Tempest Runner yet, I would definitely recommend it. It's really good.
Well, they think she died, but they're not sure.
I don't
Yeah,
think,
exactly.
to me, I don't think, yeah, she's dead either, especially since they have their information wrong because they think she's the eye.
Right.
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
They
think
don't
she's
seem
the
to know
eye.
much.
yeah.
And that was all through the Rising Storm where they thought she was the eye.
Mhm.
And Marshall Rose like not hiding away, but he's laughing his bits off because he's thinking he's like protected because everyone thinks Lorna Dee's like the big eye.
Yeah, sorry guys, my computer's glitchy. Started going back. But yeah, I finished the audio. You finished the audio drama too, Lakota?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
I did too.
It was a little bit confusing at the beginning because there was so many characters talking all at the same time, like the first couple of chapters, and because there's no narration in between the kind of conversations, you have to kind of work out who's who, if you see what I mean. But
Right.
once I got into it, I was like, oh yeah, this is, and actually her whole backstory is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. And then I
The one I
agree, it
haven't
was
gotten
confusing
to.
at first, but once you figured out who the characters were, because I got to recognize them by their voice. Those voice
Yeah.
actors are really talented. So
Yeah, definitely. And it was a really stellar cast as well.
yes, I agree. But it definitely fleshes out her character.
Yeah.
So, and I do love character building. So that was really cool for me. So here they are, and there's some confrontation because there's a disagreement as to how
Well,
this should be pursued.
the ones they think are the new eyes. Anyone know how to pronounce that?
Talpini, this Talpini?
Yeah.
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 Ashes Rhyme? I don't know. But that's not what I, because they talked about him in the last book, and that's not what I pictured him at all. So I was like, oh, okay, so this is why I like seeing them, so now I can start filling in
Yeah.
the information. I thought he was gonna be like super skinny type thing, and so he's just portly, kind of short. So it's kind of not what I
Yeah.
thought at all. So,
He
Yeah,
reminds
this
me of the sheriff on that planet at the very beginning episodes of
Yeah.
volumes of the High
Mhm.
Republic, the sheriff that got chased off.
Right. When Jules got eaten, right?
oh, Jules.
and then they even just have this the third panel down, just an image of maybe the back of just some random ones. This guy could be it. And I'm like, what is that? I wonder if that's Martian or I don't know. It's just, but it was
Where?
third image down, third panel. And
Yeah,
On the
I
left
kind of
side?
thought that too.
he's first one, second one says this could be this guy, and they have a picture of him. And the next one says it could be this guy, and but they don't
Oh,
give a
yeah.
name, and it's just like his back.
They can't see him. I think that is
Yeah.
Martian. I think that is because he was wearing that fur, remember?
Yeah,
Is
they
that
don't
fair?
give any information.
It
on
looks
that.
like a fur coat hanging from the back. So it's a back view of him
Yeah,
Sure.
like cape.
because his hand is pointed away from us, just like a
Yeah.
fur cape. And then he is wearing a fur. I get them all
Some kind of
confused because I'm
cape
reading
or
so many
cloak, yeah.
things. Yeah,
So I'm assuming that is Martian, but yeah.
I think so. And then his name, I thought it was Martian too, but then in the audios, they call him Markion.
You know, in the
Mark,
books they call them different things. They're not on the same thing. Like the last one, the
Yeah,
one I was going to keep calling Markion. And then
because David Soul, David Soul's the creator, right? And he calls him
Martian, I think calls him Martian.
He does, but David Soul's the creator and he calls him Markion.
Yeah, so I think Drengir and Nile, they don't have it consistent either. Sometimes they Drengir or Drengir.
And sometimes it's Nihil.
Nihil, Nihil. They sometimes they're still not on the same page on some of the pronunciations. It's kind of funny.
I think they're making it very Star Wars with the Han, Leia,
Yeah.
Leah. So
Yeah.
they want to perpetuate that multiple pronunciations. So then here we get it looks like some beginning of some conflict between Geos and Avar Chris. So she's a marshal, but he's on the Jedi Council. So she's like, I'm thinking she's the equivalent of a Jedi Council member, but she's a marshal on Starlight Beacon. So it's equivalent to it, but she's not on Coruscant. So it's like a satellite council member. I'm not sure, but she still defers to the council and to Geos. And then don't they have some backstory? Chris, is it
Yeah.
Geos, the one who?
No, it's Elzar. Well, all three of them, Elzar, Man, and those two are all friends. They all grew up, but Elzar is the one who's got kind of a crush on her.
He was romantic with her, right?
I don't know if he ever was romantic, but he wanted to be romantic.
Elzar's romantic with everybody.
I think
apparently.
they were like back in their college days and the academy days. I think they did get together because I think they don't have a problem with connecting physically. They just have a problem with long-term connection. So they don't marry, but they're free to explore. And
I don't know. He seemed pretty ashamed of himself when he did the nasty with who was it? The chick that was in
Lena
yeah,
So's advisor, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I know what I want. She goes, I just want a quickie. So
Yeah, but then the whole book after that, he was like crying to himself in his own head.
Yeah.
I can't believe I did that.
Yeah.
So here we see Surrett and Tarek.
They're definitely arguing at this point, which is kind of caught me
Yeah.
off guard. And then he does the ultimate power move and just like, that's it. We're not arguing. I
Not at this time. I have spoken.
Yeah.
And then Keeve's she's not feeling it. So she jumps in as per usual. You know, she doesn't hold her tongue.
She really doesn't know when to shut up ever, does she?
She's hot-headed, yeah.
Yeah. This is kind of where I think Avar messes up because obviously Keeve is not kind of falling in line and let her emotions really handle it. You see her emotions taking control here.
Yeah.
Avar enables her with the following what happens next. I'm like, I think they probably should have not enabled her. She probably should have calmed her down, but
Yeah. So they have this ship that they plundered. And this is from the audio drama, right, Lakota? When
Yes.
they captured this ship. So
Yeah.
that's how they got this ship. And they have this plan to have Keeve go undercover with Tarek.
so this
And
is
infiltrate the
not
Nihil.
what I envision the Nihil ships looking like, though. Looks kind
But
of
remember, the Nihil ships are literally whatever they've plundered, collected, and then metamorphosized and patched up. And
yeah, and it almost just looks like something you see in Star Trek. It doesn't look like I was really imagining like a Reavers from Serenity, and then they said they had these bright, I think it's like bright green path engines that circled around it. And so this isn't at all what I was kind of imagining in my head, but it was cool to see it. Especially when more show up, they kind of almost look uniform, which is not what I expected at all.
yeah,
But I do like that we get to see
Mhm.
get to see him.
So here we have Keeve, and she sends out a distress call to the Nile because she's getting attacked now that the Jedi ship are coming in. And her old master, Skier's part of the rescue force coming in to rescue Orla.
And is this the first time we see vectors? First
I think
time
so.
I've noticed vectors. Because it's not
I
what
think with
thought
this-
vectors.
No, I
thought-
think we've seen them before, but just like little sketch line drawings. Or I'm getting
Yeah, I think,
confused because
like-
maybe in IDW they have them.
Yeah, well, I think they might have showed him in like, I know they released some like preview images before they even started releasing any of this
Yeah.
content that showed some of the characters and some of the vehicles, but they were just like single images. I really do feel like I'm with John on this. This issue really put a lot of visual to what we had been reading about.
yeah,
Yeah. And plus seeing them in action too. 'Cause
I
we-
always imagine the vectors like the Jedi starfighters, because these are only 200 years before Jedi starfighters, and only Jedi fly the vectors. And this doesn't look anything like him, even though it's not really a good profile shot of it, but you still see some good shots of it in the next few pictures.
Mhm. And then we have this new guy, Nurin Bakarakana.
I was gonna say, man, $5 for anyone who can say that name.
Oh, I get $5
You got it
Rich.
good, Mike.
Yeah,
That was
Nurin
sick.
Bakarakana. Nurin Bakarakana.
I had to say that like 5 or 6 times, like syllable by syllable.
did he appear?
It's like a squirrel.
No, Candyman came.
So here we have more Nile ship, but the Nile ship are all these brown ones with the lightning bolts. And then the Jedi ship are these silver gray ones. And then they're fighting.
Well, which is really cool is that this is a Jedi starship cruiser, and you don't see any of that in any movies anywhere. So it's really cool that they have their own cruisers and stuff. So it's definitely a different time.
Yeah, it is. And then Keeve has, she's targeting one of the vectors, locking on, and it's her old Jedi Master Skier. And then they blast it.
And Skier's done forever. He's gone like that, unceremoniously.
Gone in a second, just like that. Sorry, Master.
Jedi
then they're
no
like-
more. It's right in the title.
Direct hit. They're trying to leave.
I love
Oh.
that their tractor beam is just chains. It's just
I know.
chain links. I'm like, that is not what I thought at all. But I love
I
that.
know. When I saw that too, I'm like, what? Chains
Yeah.
through hyperspace? I
Yes.
guess so.
I'm just fishing at this point.
That's the same feeling I had when I took my 5th graders to JPL here in Pasadena on a field trip before the Mars rover went up, and they were showing us the actual spaceships that go to Mars, right? And they have flimsy foil. I'm like, are you kidding me? This flimsy little like Mylar balloon is part of the spaceship? Like, okay, I guess. But yeah, it's shocking. And then whoosh, they're gone. They rescued Keeve and Tarek, part of their Nile.
And much like Chewbacca in Rise of Skywalker, Skier lives.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly like that, yeah.
Skier lives. It was all smoke and mirrors.
Folks, fake news.
So, and then we're back to Keeve narrating. So she gave us the background of what happened. And it seems like we're back on time with what they're doing as they're infiltrating. So now we know she's undercover, so is Tarek. And they have to pretend to be part of the Nile. Which would be easy because they don't know every individual.
Yeah. I am surprised though that if they're trying to infiltrate, she went as high as a storm. I thought they would have just like whatever clouds or whatever the lowest one is.
Yeah.
That's kind of a little surprising.
She must have done something to earn that right, because you
Mhm.
don't get to go in and be a storm.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole, in Tempest Runner, you learn that there's a whole kind of rigmarole that you go through to become a storm. Like you have to kind of prove your worth, and you have to
Right.
prove that you would do anything for the storm, including betray your friends, kill people, whatever. So in order to get that storm and entitlement, you've got to do something pretty horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also, I think what really made it all kind of come together was, and I think we're going to get to this in the next page or two, where she says she's from Pan Eta's war band,
Yeah.
because I don't think he ended up dying, or he was dying. I don't know.
He's presumed dead.
He's off the
Gotta
map
be.
right
Presumed
now.
dead.
So yeah, nobody knows where they went. So she really probably didn't have to do anything, because they can't
She's
really
flagging it.
prove, what
Okay.
she was on before this. So she just walks in clouded up as a
Yeah.
storm, and people are gonna
Fake it till
respect
you make it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fake it till it for
exactly.
sure. But they don't even know themselves, because they think that Markion killed Pan Eta.
Yeah.
They don't know that Lorna actually resuscitating him with her pen, her little
Yeah.
EpiPen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, didn't Marchion try to keep that secret too from the rest of the Nile, that he killed him?
Possibly. Yeah, I can't.
Rings a bell.
I thought there was like a whole cover story that he died in a battle or something. I would have to go back and listen to the
I
Rising
think
Storm.
so. But there's a lot of like lies and covering up.
There's a lot of
So it's-
subterfuge going on with the Nile, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. I like this guy because he's like Unkar Plot,
Yeah.
right? Same
Yeah.
species as Unkar Plot. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
So I like that they're bringing in characters that are familiar from the movies, and I suspect Disney will be doing that a lot since they really want to solidify their creations. But it was cool to see this guy, and then they do say, because here they see how they were training Keeve to say that she was part of Pan Eta's war band.
Yeah.
And then Pan Eta, he's alive, but I don't even know where I read this part either, where he's on that planet and the guy says he needs to.
His home planet. He went to his home planet, right? To kind of hide out.
But he meets somebody in a bar. He's talking to somebody in a bar.
I don't know. I haven't read that.
Which
The
one's that
last
in
thing-
Lakota? Do you remember
Where
Lakota?
are we?
When he's in
Huh?
a bar, Pan Eta's in a bar, and this guy's talking to him because he knows that Lorna's alive but captured.
I don't know.
I don't remember him being in a bar, not gonna lie, but I remember him talking to somebody about Lorna.
Yes,
think
they were,
maybe those
because he
are-
walked into a bar. I think it might have been the narration.
Okay.
It might have been there, but near the beginning, he goes into a bar saying, I need some help, can you help me find somebody? I'm part of he's like, I'm part of the Nile, or I used to be. And then Pan Eta's in there, but we don't know it's Pan Eta until later. And then Pan Eta is the same species as that. Remember in the first movie, episode number 7, when they're in Maz Kanata's castle, that big guy.
Is he the same species? I wasn't
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, that's what he is. That's that species that Pan
They
Eta
haven't
is.
shown any images either, and I wanted to see what he looked like.
He looks like that guy. So, you know which one?
That's what I envisioned it, Mike.
Yeah, because I need to see them too. Let's see. What's that movie called? Number 7?
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. Thank you.
Well, they have I didn't know they had a sketch of him.
There he is. Can you see that?
Yeah, that's just like you don't see his face, but it's definitely the body of that other creature.
Yeah, it's that big guy. He's got those big rhino feet. Let me get back to this. So here we are. So she says it. She says she was part of Pan Eta's group, his war band. And this guy's like, yeah, that guy's legit. Because Pan Eta was trying to take over, and he wanted to kill Markion. And that was what got him in trouble.
Yeah.
He was close to doing it, but yeah, Markion just was a step ahead.
Yeah, he was expecting it. And then this looks like a light whip.
Yeah.
You are right, Mike. Just saying. So he's Pan Eta's a Dewutin, if I'm pronouncing that
Yes,
correct.
yes, that's right.
That was oh, what was her name? Was it Blaze? Baze, the bounty hunter Baze. It was her guard guy that she was sitting on his lap.
Okay.
Yes, that's right. Thank you,
So
Lakota.
she's the one that goes off and makes a call and says, "Hey, I've found them."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not Baze Malbus. What's her name? It's gonna annoy me.
She was burnt though, and she's got that little skull cap thing.
Bazine Natal.
Bazine, yes, Bazine Natal, yes. And she's the one that I think on that mission in the book, she has a book about Bazine Natal.
Yes.
I believe she goes and she gets Vader's mask. Isn't that what she collects? So that's how Kylo gets the mask.
Yeah.
Vader's helmet.
That was a very cool book if you haven't read it. It's online only, ebook only.
Yeah, really cool. I loved it. One of the early books that came out, right?
Very early. It was part of the Path to the Force Awakens, whatever it was called. That series of books was called.
Yeah. So here he is, this light whip. He's like, oh yeah, you're really part of that clan? Well, then prove it. Wants to check to make sure she's not a fake. And then here we have Avar Chris saying, they're going to test you to make sure they can trust you, but you can't be a Jedi. Just do it as a non-Jedi. So she grabs a light whip.
Like it's that simple. Just betray everything you've been taught your whole life. It's no problem.
Yeah.
I know. And then, but she turns it on him, grabs the whip, and flips him over. And then she strangles him. Got him into that Jabba the Hutt stranglehold, like Leia did.
She was cool with it. She definitely got on.
Yep. And he's looking
And have you
very.
noticed she shaved like the other half of her head off just to make her look a little bit harder?
Oh, a mohawk. You're right. I hadn't noticed that. That looks cool. I actually like this better. I prefer this. Looks cool.
Punk rock Kiev front us.
Yeah. And so then he believes her. He's like, your pants tempest, all right. And then this guy comes in, the one that they think is the eye. And he's cool in this exoskeleton.
Well, that's the first time you get to see him, which is I really.
Yeah, that was in the book with his suit, right?
Yeah.
I thought, I remember hearing that.
Etar. I think they call him Etar or something. I'm trying to remember his name.
Yeah, Zetar.
Zetar.
Etar.
Yeah, Zetar. Because she doesn't know who he is. Well, he says, you know who I am, right? She's like, yeah, but she doesn't. And then that Unkar Plot, I don't know what his name is, but he looks like Unkar Plot. He says his name's like Zetar. You know?
Oh, it does say it. Okay.
Yeah. She goes, oh, now he's going.
He was the Tempest runner that took over for the one that died or got killed in Into the Dark, I believe. Because there's 3, and then the one dude.
Yeah, he was the first replacement.
Yeah, they killed him, and this dude stepped up and took his place.
Yeah, I remember now from is like Pan and this guy would have standoffs, and he's such a little guy, but he was in a suit, so.
Yeah. And then we've got, you've got to prove yourself, so you're going to need this. He gives her a hammer. She's like, what for? He's like, to prove yourself. Bring in the prisoner. We're like, uh-oh, who could it be? And it's none other than
Criff.
Mayarga.
Dun, dun, dun.
So she has to kill Mayarga to prove herself.
So what do you think? Do you think she's going to do it?
No.
It'd be really dark if she did.
Yeah, it would. But you know what? She is a Jedi. She does fall. She's one of the 20, the lost 20. So I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just don't think this is it. I think she's going to find a way around it.
Not in the beginning of an arc. If she does fall, it's going to be at the end. That would be too dark too soon.
And plus, I like Mayarga. I don't want to see her.
I'm thinking she's going to say, why are you being so stupid? Why would you kill her instead of and not use her for knowledge or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And
I mean, she's the leader of the
clan. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then we see the preview cover for issue number 10. So to be continued.
Cool preview covers actually there. If that's what the other
gnarly.
ones are, 11 and 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That 12 is a lovely looking image.
Is that a Twi'lek?
Yeah, that's Lorna.
Yeah.
With the green lightsaber?
Yeah.
And I like this thing on her chest. It looks like aliens, right? The one that the Xenomorph.
Can you expand on the one above? I'm trying to work out what that is from here.
It's Turek, and he's like phasing.
Oh wow, okay.
I don't know. Let me see that thing.
Oh, it could be Turek, and maybe something happened to Turek.
No, I can't make it bigger. It's
no, it's fine.
But I can find that cover here in League of Comic Geeks and expand it there. So next issue, we actually have the variant covers here. Oh, they don't have it.
Cool. They don't have it. Maybe it's an image from the inside.
Oh, it's the next episode then. There it is.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he looks like he needs a world of trouble.
Yeah, he does. Looks like they're beaming him up.
Well, here's the thing. I'm thinking back to Rising Storm and what the Leveler did to those Jedi.
Oh, right.
Is this maybe mid-process of that?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. That was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, I hope not. I don't know which one of this
name, the Leveler. But
yeah.
I really like.
I don't know which one. Which one of them is this?
Well, that
Turek?
looks like Turek because he's got the same like belt pouches as the image 10 as cover 10. Look at cover 10; he's got the same capsules on his belt. So I'm sure
so they are Turek, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Great.
All right. So, final thoughts, comments?
No, it's very definitely start of a new arc.
Yeah,
Left us in a ominous place with Mayaga.
definitely took a turn, didn't it?
Yeah.
Sure did.
I'm excited. This is what I was waiting for. The High Republic, it was kind of off to a slow start, a little bit lumbering. You had to kind of lay out all the characters and the landscape and the context.
Yeah.
But now we're getting to the good stuff. And it's a good time to be reading.
It's just such a massive universe, though, isn't it, that they've created? And I think, you know, the storyboard group that were involved in Project Luminous from the beginning have done something pretty spectacular in the amount that they've managed to create, you know? So
Yeah.
those first few books, episodes, volumes, whatever, are always going to be challenging because you're trying to navigate your brain around a whole new universe that is still Star Wars, but isn't what you know
Right.
Star Wars to be, and you've got like hundreds of characters to remember and how they connect and interconnect, and you've got loads of new planets, loads of new creatures, and I think it's really exciting. I think.
I agree, and I like all this expanding of because this really is expanding the Star Wars universe a lot.
Yeah.
Showing us new things that are, just because we haven't seen them in films doesn't mean it wasn't happening somewhere else just around the corner. I appreciate all this.
You know, I was a little upset when I first realized like we weren't going to instantly get Sith. And I wasn't a huge fan of the Drengir, but the Nihil are doing a pretty good job at being effective villains. Marcia and Ro especially.
Oh yeah. I can't wait to
Yeah.
see what his plans are.
Was that part of was Markion Ro's backstory part of the audio drama, Lakota? He was like a
No, it
weak
was
boy.
Path of the Rising Storm.
Okay.
Oh no, it was the audio drama.
Yeah, because I really like that part too. I'm like, oh, and it reminded me a lot of. I'm a big Asimov fan, so.
Yeah.
You know that The Fool. Remember the one? I don't remember. There's so many books, but the one with the fool. If you've read that one, where he's just like a jester or a fool, but he ends up being the villain.
Okay. No, it doesn't ring a bell, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's this one character that he's like a little, almost like he's just like a jester. He's funny. He's a clown, and he's entertaining.
Okay.
But it turns out at the end, he was the one that was just using that as a disguise, kind of like Jar Jar. So I thought that George Lucas might have been trying to do that with Jar Jar, but
Very
since
possible, actually.
fans didn't like it, so he just shifted gears.
Yeah.
He didn't stick to it, but in Asimov's books, it's very effective.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
that's the feeling I got with Markion too, because he's he was very shy and timid, and then when they were using him to plan to kill his father, spoiler alert. But then once his father's dead, he's just like snaps over. Is like, whoa, what happened? Where did this come from? He's ruthless.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, no, I thought that was great.
He's definitely throughout the books. I mean, the start he was he had a position, but he wasn't supposed to. He just help make decisions really. But wasn't supposed to be leading anyone. And now it's definitely changed the whole hierarchy. Now he's the leader, and so I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, because I got a feeling he was kind of weakly at the beginning.
Yeah, especially with Pan Atar and Tempest Runner, Cosmo, the one that died in the beginning. Cosmo.
Oh.
There were 3 of them, right? 3 of them that were trying to.
The one that they always played the punk music when he attacked. And it was just kind of.
Yeah.
I cannot remember his name. I keep on saying. I also imagine him as a Hondo looking, like he looks like Hondo. I don't know who he was, but that's how I imagine him. Yeah. I
feel like we need an infographic for the Nihil as well. You know,
we do.
Jedi. Come on, give me more info on all these like little side characters, because they've been brilliant. Some of them have just been, you know, somewhere between comedic evil.
Kosov? I can't remember.
Yes. Kosov.
Yeah.
Kosov. Something like that.
Yeah. Well, one thing I have is that the comics now, the first 8 issues I felt like were parallel with what's going on to the books, but not really feeding too much into the books. So we're we're getting some of the same characters, but it's more like cameos. I feel like now that we're ahead and now we're going to the Nile, we're gonna actually help feed the books too. So especially
Yeah.
Mhm.
already interacting
Yeah.
with them, so it's gonna, I think they're gonna mix in better instead of being parallel, they're gonna be together, and it's just gonna help the story more and help with, I think they're gonna start showing us more images and stuff like that. So really, I'm looking forward to that.
I
Definitely.
agree. I agree.
And
So I think that's it. And for next, in 2 weeks from now, we won't have the 10th issue yet. So I think we're gonna have to shift gears. And what should we do?
we really
Since it's
should do
gonna-
the IDW or the other IDW one.
The one with
Monster
Ty
Temple
York.
Peak.
How many Ty Yorks? There's gonna be 6, right?
There's 2 out right now.
There's going to be 6, and there's 2 out right now.
Mhm.
I think we'll, by the time we catch up, we'll be done, or you think we're gonna catch up before they'll be done?
Well, I think we need to do something off, because then the following one we can finish up this. I don't think this arc will finish with number 10. I think it's going to continue.
We'll finish the volume, but not the arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we switch gears and go to IDW? Because there's a lot going on
Yeah.
there, and it's really exciting. I love the IDW.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so you heard it here. Our next Archive of the Wilds is going to be IDW 1. Yes.
For once, I actually have the first issue of Monster Temple Peak. I've given up trying to get the digital copies, and I just went for the paper copy.
It's good though, right? Have you read
It
it?
is great. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a great little comic.
All right, guys.
All right,
And
guys,
gal.
thanks for watching.
Thanks so much. Have a great Sunday.
Bye, guys.
Bye.